Hello everybody, welcome to the discussion for the mains test series questions. In this particular session, we shall be discussing an answer to the question from the Indian agriculture. The question here is, the agricultural subsidies are actually encouraging those practices that needs to be discouraged. In this regard, there is a need to increase public investment in agriculture as opposed to the subsidies. Now, this particular question was asked for 10 marks and you are required to write the answer in 150 words. Now, before we understand the suggested answer structure and how to write the answer to this particular question, let us first decode the question. That is, let us first understand as to what is the requirement of this question. See here, if you read the question carefully, the central idea or the central premise of the question is about subsidies versus public investment. So basically here, upon reading the question, you would get to know that you are required to argue as to why the subsidies are bad or how the subsidy regime is adversely affecting the Indian agriculture. Since it is adversely affecting the Indian agriculture, why there is a need for the government to reduce the subsidies and increase the public investment. So this is what you need to argue in your answer. So when it comes to subsidies, you must be aware that the government is providing large number of subsidies to the farmers, such as water, power, seeds, fertilizers, the minimum support price, MSP, the farm loan waivers. All of these are considered to be the subsidies. The basic rationale to give these subsidies is that most of the farmers in case of India, they are quite poor and they cannot afford to purchase all these agricultural inputs at a market prices. But sadly, these subsidies are actually unable to fulfill their requirements. They are going against the interests of the farmers as well as against the interests of the Indian agriculture. On the other hand, if you look at public investment basically means an investment that is done by the government of India, and that kind of investment should basically fulfill three criteria. What are these three criteria? First and foremost, it should be inclusive in nature. That is, it should benefit all the farmers and not necessarily the rich farmers. Second, it should promote environmentally sustainable practices. And thirdly, it should be able to address the structural problems afflicting the Indian agriculture. So this is what is meant by public investment. So in your answer, you're basically required to highlight as to how subsidies are harming the Indian agriculture and why these subsidies need to be replaced with the public investment. So having decoded the question, let us understand the suggested answer structure in terms of introduction, body, and conclusion. See here in the question, we do have a statement. The statement is the agriculture subsidies are harming the Indian agriculture. So in your introduction here, you need to substantiate the statement that is given in the question. How will you substantiate? Here, you are required to substantiate that the agricultural subsidies are actually harming the Indian agriculture. In order to substantiate this, you can basically highlight that the government of India is giving subsidies such as seeds, water, fertilizers, minimum support price, farm loan waivers, etc. However, these agricultural subsidies are exclusionary, environmentally unsustainable, and they do not address the structural problems of the Indian agriculture. So in your introduction, I basically highlighted that the agriculture subsidies are going against the interests of the farmers and the Indian agriculture. Now, in the body of the answer, basically you should have two dimensions. In the first dimension, you should highlight as to how the agricultural subsidies are exclusionary, how they are environmentally unsustainable, and why they do not address the structural problems. That's the first dimension. And in the second dimension, you should highlight as to why the public investment is much better as compared to the subsidies. Now, in the first dimension, here you can give n number of examples as to how the subsidies are exclusionary in nature. For example, you can highlight that the government is giving subsidies on power, water, fertilizers, etc. But most of these subsidies are basically cornered by the rich farmers with the larger land holdings. On the other hand, the small and marginal farmers who account for almost 83% of the farming community do not have access to these kind of subsidies. So the amount of benefits given to the small and marginal farmers is quite lower. We can further go on to substantiate by highlighting the very important fact which was highlighted by the Shanta Kumar Committee on FCI reforms. According to Shanta Kumar Committee, only 6% of the farmers are actually getting benefited from the MSP regime. Secondly, you need to highlight as to how the subsidy regime is promoting environmentally unsustainable practice. Once again, you have number of examples to highlight as to how these subsidies are harming the environment. Take for instance the free power. Now the free power is in turn incentivizing the farmers to uh, take out more amount of groundwater, over exploitation of the groundwater. So the over exploitation of the groundwater is leading to the depletion of the groundwater table. It is leading to over irrigation. So as the land gets over irrigated, there is decline in the soil fertility. In fact, according to a research paper published by the Energy and Resource Institute, almost around 33% of the Indian soils have got degraded. So this once again shows environmentally unsustainable practices. Another example which you can mention is about the NPK fertilizers. Ideally, these fertilizers should have to be used in a balanced manner, balanced proportion. And that proportion is 4:2:1. But since urea, which is a source of nitrogenous fertilizers, this is heavily subsidized. It is available at much cheaper prices, because of which the farmers tend to use more of urea, because of which this proportion right now in case of India is actually 7:3:1. So there is over usage of nitrogenous fertilizers in the form of urea. So this is in turn leading to decline in the fertility of the soil. Thirdly, presently the Indian agriculture is facing a number of structural problems. These structural problems include lack of irrigation facilities, wherein almost 52% of the agricultural land even today is rain-fed, fragmented land holdings, poor access to the storage and warehouses, lack of cold chain infrastructure, and so on. So there are n number of problems with respect to the Indian agriculture. The question is, are these subsidies going to address these structural problems? Sadly not. Now, for example, look at farm loan waivers. Farm loan waivers, government in the year 2016-17 gave a farm loan waiver of almost around 3.1 lakh crore. Now, according to various estimates, if this amount, that is 3.1 lakh crore, was instead used for irrigation, the irrigation potential in case of India would have got increased by almost 55%. So this farm loan waiver, it is basically benefiting the rich farmers who are taking loans from institutional sources such as banks. But the small and marginal farmers, they do not have access to institutional credit. They normally take loans from the money lenders. So once again, the farm loan waiver is exclusionary. It is not addressing the structural problems of the Indian agriculture. On the other hand, in the second dimension, you can mention as to how public investment in expanding the area under irrigation, investing in cold chain infrastructure, investing in research and development for developing new variety of seeds, construction of godowns, providing support to the farmer producer organizations. All of these can be considered to be public investment. And if you look at these examples, when the government is spending on each of these aspects, this is more inclusionary in nature. This is going to benefit all the farmers. This will promote environmentally sustainable practices. And this is what is going to address the present structural problems of the Indian agriculture. So you have clearly highlighted that the subsidy regime is going against the interests of the farmers. That is why we need to bring down the subsidies and instead promote the public investment. As far as your conclusion is concerned, obviously you cannot write here that the government has to do away with the subsidy regime completely, because there are still today a number of poor farmers who cannot afford to buy the agricultural inputs. But what can be in your conclusion in this is, you can basically write that the government needs to rationalize the subsidies. That is, give subsidies only to the poor and the marginal farmers. Why should the subsidies be given to the rich farmers? So if we rationalize the subsidies, government will be able to save money. This saving could be in turn used for increasing the public investment. So this can be your conclusion. So this is how you can approach the introduction, body, and the conclusion. Now the question is, how can you enrich this answer? How can you gain that additional 1 or 2 marks while writing the answer? First and foremost, you can highlight certain facts and figures in order to prove your point as to why the subsidies have to be brought down and why the public investment can be increased. Wherein you can highlight that the presently government of India is spending 8.2% of the agricultural GDP on the subsidies. On the other hand, if you look at the investment in the Indian agriculture, this is 15% of agricultural GDP. But out of these 15%, 12% is basically coming from the private sector, and the share of the government investment or the public investment is hardly 3%. So you can see here, while the government is spending 8.2% of the agriculture GDP on the subsidies, government is spending only 3% of the agriculture subsidies on the public investment. So this clearly shows that government needs to bring down the subsidies and focus more upon enhancing the public investment. So this is one way of enriching your answer. Another way of enriching your answer is, you can incorporate a diagram in your answer as to subsidies versus public investment. There, like this, you can mention subsidies, then public investment. You can give certain examples of subsidies and certain examples of the public investment. And there you can write under the public investment, it is more inclusionary, environmentally sustainable, and addresses the structural problems of the Indian agriculture. So this is how you should be able to write the answer to this particular question.